Today, we are diving into a story that's over 2,500 years old, but you're going to see it feels like it was written for our world right now. It's this powerful, timeless lesson about ambition, ego, and the superfine line between them.
So let's just kick things off with a big question for you to chew on. I mean, we're all told to be ambitious, right? Reach for the stars. But what happens when that drive gets, well, unhooked from reality? Where's that breaking point? It turns out this exact tension is captured perfectly in an ancient Greek fable. It's this incredible warning about the dangers of competitive vanity and, just chasing the wrong goals entirely.
And the master storyteller behind all this? A guy named Aesop. This man was a genius at using these simple little animal tales to critique really complex human flaws. Legend has it he might have even been a slave who won his freedom through sheer wit, which just goes to show his stories prove that wisdom is often way more powerful than just raw strength.
Okay, so let's get right to the heart of it, the story of the frog and the ox. It's short, it's sharp, and, well, it's a pretty tragic tale.
So our story starts in this quiet, reedy pool. An ox, a symbol of just immense, unthinking power, comes down for a drink. And just like that, a simple act has this devastating, totally accidental consequence for the tiny creatures living there.
I mean, try to imagine the scene from their perspective. To these tiny frogs, the ox isn't just an animal. It's a great big monster. The scale is terrifying, right? The power imbalance is just completely overwhelming. And this right here, this is the moment the seeds of tragedy are sown.
Now, this is where things take a really fascinating turn. The old frog's reaction? It's not grief. It's not a desire for safety. No, it's immediately competitive. Her very first instinct is to measure herself against this perceived monster.
And here, it's like her ego just completely takes the wheel. Even with her own kids, the eyewitnesses, warning her, she flat out refuses to accept reality. She just keeps puffing herself up, driven by this desperate, desperate need to match a power she can't even begin to comprehend. And then the inevitable, the pursuit of an image, of being as big as, leads to her complete and total self-destruction. The oxes didn't kill her. Her own ambition did. So let's unpack that for a second. The real tragedy here wasn't the accident caused by the ox. The ox was just a force of nature, doing its thing. The real tragedy is the frog's self-inflicted end, all driven by a seriously flawed idea of what strength even is. And this just lays it all out, doesn't it? The frog's big mistake was confusing the ambition to be as big as something with the actual ability to be that big. See, one is all about ego, it's about vanity, and it leads to ruin. The other, it's based in reality, and that's where you get real, sustainable growth. And this brings the whole lesson right back to us, doesn't it? I mean, how often do we do this in our own lives? Exaggerating a little, overcommitting, trying to project this image that our foundations just can't support. Yeah, the frog's folly isn't some dusty old story. It plays out all around us, every single day, in really, really modern ways. Just think about it. Personally, it's seeing a mentor's success and trying to copy it overnight without putting in the years of work they did. Socially, it's that constant pressure to keep up with the Joneses. And at work, oh man, this is the classic recipe for burnout, saying yes to everything to prove you're worthy, just stretching yourself thinner and thinner until you snap. So, what are the red flags? Well, it's that moment you ignore an expert because, you think you know better. It's when you commit to a deadline that you know is physically impossible just to look good. And, that trap we all fall into? Comparing our chapter 1 to someone else's chapter 20? Yeah, that's this. Or maybe it's going into debt just to maintain an image. All of these are just modern ways of puffing up. Okay, so if that's the problem, what's the solution? Well, the fable also shows us there's a wiser path, a path of authentic growth, one that is built, not just puffed. Let's reframe this a bit. The ox isn't the enemy. The ox is just reality. It's the laws of physics, it's the market, it's the 24 hours in a day. The frog's struggle was a fight against what is. Real wisdom isn't fighting reality, it's learning how to work with it. And this right here is the key takeaway. The goal was never to become an ox. It was to excel at being a frog, to be more agile, a better hunter, a wiser member of the pond. You see, authentic growth is all about becoming a better version of yourself, not a cheap copy of someone else. So, how do we actually shift our mindset from all this puffing to real building? Let's look at a couple of powerful ideas, kind of like mantras, that are inspired by this fable. Okay, this first one is huge. It's a total mental flip. Instead of seeing a limitation as a failure, you start seeing it as a guardrail, right? A guardrail on a winding mountain road isn't there to stop your progress, it's there to keep you from flying off the edge. So, in practice, this means doing a real, honest inventory of your resources, your time, your money, your energy, before you say yes to something. It's all about making a plan that fits who you are today, not who you wish you were. And the second one, it's all about priorities. So ask yourself, are you spending more time making something look good than you are on making it actually good? Choosing substance means focusing on the unglamorous work, the deep practice, the messy drafts, the solid foundation. A strong building doesn't need to brag. Its structure speaks for itself. It's the difference between having a shiny LinkedIn profile and having skills that can actually solve real problems. So, after all of this, it really comes down to one single question you have to ask yourself. In your work, in your life, in your goals, are you patiently laying one solid brick on top of another, building real capacity? Or are you just taking a deep breath of competitive air, hoping the whole illusion holds together? And that's really the heart of it. That warning from a reedy little pond thousands of years ago is clearer now than ever. Don't let your ego write a check that reality can't cash. Go forth and build. Don't just puff.